Steve, a lot of the talk going into this match has been about how it's going to be a battle between the bowling attacks. I think there's been a lot of that. But as a batter, I mean, how do you feel about that? How are the batters placed going into this?
Well, I know how our team is. We've been training really well the last week or so. All the batters feel like they're in a good place. So now just excited to go out and play. Another Test Championship final. We've got some fond memories, obviously, of last year just down the road. So coming here to Lords, it's a place we traditionally play pretty good cricket. So we're excited about the prospect of coming up against South Africa with the Duke's ball. It's obviously different to what we traditionally have with our home and away games. So, there's a difference there. But, we're excited about this contest.
Steve, any decisions that you're aware of being made about the team makeup? And, what do you think they sort of, I guess, the final things are that need to be crossed off before those are made?
Yeah, I'm not sure on the team. I'm sure Paddy will give that to you tomorrow. But, we've got plenty of options. I think the batters in particular, I've been watching them. Everyone's hitting the ball really nicely. So there's some good competition for spots, which is always what you want. So, everyone's ready and chomping at the bit to get out there.
And what did you make of the pitch, Steve? It seemed possibly a bit drier than what we've seen here in the past. Do you think, Nathan Lyon and spin could also play a part?
Yeah, I think spin will play a big part, particularly as the game wears on. It is dry. I think the reports, obviously we only came here a week ago, but I think it's been pretty dry to start the season over here. Hasn't been too much rain, which can be rare for England, obviously. But it does look like quite a dry surface, and I think the footmarks will definitely come into play as the game wears on.
Steve, is there any difference in approach when you're batting 3 or 4?
Not particularly.
No.
No real difference when I was opening to 4 either. It was same sort of thing. It's just a position. You could be facing the brand new ball batting at 4. You could lose 2 wickets in the first over, or so there's no real difference.
And one other thing, batting at Lords, is there something special about batting at Lords? You put in some of your great performances here. It seems like it's the big stage.
Yeah, it's a nice place to bat. I've personally had a little bit of success here, so it takes a little bit of time getting used to the slope. One end you feel like you're falling over a little bit, the other end you feel quite tall. It takes a couple of deliveries just to get used to that from both ends, I think, each time you play out here. But you certainly get value for your shots, particularly hitting the ball down the hill. The ball seems to race away, so it can be a nice wicket to bat on, as we've seen over the years as well. So, and that can change, obviously, with overheads. If there's a bit of cloud in the air and the ball swinging around and moving around, it can get tricky. So, I think batting on this surface, it's about just summing it up and playing what's in front of you and being able to adapt accordingly when conditions change, because playing in England, they can change quickly.
Steve, you've had success against South Africa and also had some controversial moments we won't have to get into, but what do you make of them coming into this? Is there still that kind of traditional niggle? Is there a bit more friendliness between the sides? What do you make of the relationship between the two teams?
It's pretty relaxed, I think. We're obviously playing in a big game. I think both teams deserve to be here for the Test Championship final. They've got a really good side. Particularly their bowling attack, led by Rabada, who's obviously record speaks for itself, and some other quality performers around. I think Marco Jansen's, a quality performer. Ngiddy's done it for a while, and there's some other options there that can do a really good job as well with a good spinner in Maharaj. So. The batters are going to have their work cut out for them, but we're all prepared and ready to play.
You said that they deserve to be here. There's obviously been a lot of talk about who deserves to be here or not. Is that something that you pay attention to? Do you look at the teams and think, South Africa are one of the top sides they belong at?
Yeah, they're a good side, yeah. They're here for a reason. I don't know how all the system works with the percentages and what have you, but they're here, they're in the top 2, and they're a good side.
Steve, you mentioned your good record here at Lords. Last time you were here, it was an eventful game against England in the Ashes. What sort of reception are you guys expecting from the members?
Unsure, and I'm actually not fussed either way.
And in terms of the Ashes, England are very open about the fact that they are building towards that, that is their focus, that is their goal. Is it the same for you guys? Or now with this new Test Championship, has it superseded the Ashes? Where does it rate?
Oh, I mean, the Ashes is a big series, but you also can't look too far ahead. You've got to keep playing each game as it comes, and every game's important with the Test Championship on the line, I suppose. That's the reason it came in, to make every test more relevant, I suppose. So, yeah, we've got to look at every game we play. You know, we go to the West Indies next week after this game, and we've got a series there. So that'll be our next focus after this game.
Yeah. You've obviously won, had a lot of success in your career. Where does winning this tournament, the last time around, rate, and how much would it mean to win it again?
Yeah, I mean, it was right up there. It was kind of it's only pretty new, the Test Championship, and, all the stuff I said before around relevance for every game I think is really good. So, yeah, it was great to be able to win a Test Championship final and to be back here again and have the opportunity to defend our crown, I suppose. It's satisfying. I think we've had a really good team for 4 years now. We've played some really good cricket along the way, and we deserve the opportunity to defend our crown this week.
Steve obviously played in a lot of big games individually. How has your preparation evolved from the start of your career to now?
Good question. I try and keep it as consistent as I can. I probably tend to, if I'm hitting the ball well, hit a little bit less than I would if I'm hitting it poorly. So, I've had a good break. I've had a couple of months off and had my first hit the other day, and everything sort of clicked into place immediately. So, I haven't had to work as hard as I thought I would have had to do this week, if that makes sense. So, I feel in a good place and, ready to get out and play.
Have you got your hands?
My hands are here, yeah. They're good.
Steve, you mentioned sort of why the Test Championship came in to make Tests more relevant. There were some figures sort of floating around the other day about batting becoming harder in the 6 years since it was introduced, and bowling becoming easier, perhaps teams sort of playing to win and get sort of points that way. Do you feel that batting has become harder in the 6 years?
In the what?
In the 6 years since the World Test Championship.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said the 60s. I'm like, I think, particularly for top order batters, it's as tricky as I've seen in my career. I think they changed the ball, the Kookaburra in particular. I probably can't speak as much for the Duke's ball, but the Kookaburra back home where we play a lot of games, I think the seam's a lot bigger, and you mix that in with the grass that's been on the wickets probably the last 4 or 5 years. It's kind of the perfect storm in a way. So yeah, it's certainly tricky to bat up top, although the first probably 20 overs, and then the ball seems to stay hard. So I think guys batting it, and it probably matches a lot of the stats around the world. I reckon guys batting at 6, 7, even 8 can come in while that ball's still quite hard, and the ball just comes off the bat probably more than it used to. It probably softened up, and it was probably more difficult to score. So yeah, it's tricky batting up top at the moment, that's for sure.
Hey. This is obviously a one-off Test match. Usually you play a series, and big series. Would you ever like to see this played as more than one match, or do you like the one-off idea?
Good question. I haven't thought too much about it. Yeah, I mean, maybe like a 3-match series or something like that would be good, but good luck fitting it in the schedule. It's pretty jam-packed as it is, so might be tricky, but yeah, I think if you could do something like that, it'd be pretty cool as well.
Steve, you spoke about the Kookaburra and how it's changed. Like, I mean, you've faced the Dukes a lot in your career. Is there any adjustment at all? Because it can often swing a lot, like a little later, when probably number 4 walks out. So what has it been like? And also you're up against a team who aren't used to using the Dukes as much as the English who you generally face here.
Yeah, I think it's just playing what's in front of you. I think the ball can certainly swing around for longer. And I think for me as a batter, it's about using the swing, going with it. If it's going away from me, like being able to go square with the ball and sort of go with the swing. Same sort of coming back down the line. You want to go with the swing, particularly at Lords. You want to go with the slope and the swing as well. you throw on. There's always something on offer for the bowlers, particularly if the clouds roll in. So, and then when the clouds are out, it can be really nice to bat. So it's a cool game playing here in England. I enjoy the sort of intricacies of what you need to do at certain periods of the game, whether you need to tighten things up or get a bit more aggressive and things like that. So yeah, should be a fun week this week.
Steve, you've played South Africa for the best part of a decade. When you get involved in a contest against them, what's the feature of that side that you always is always confronting you basically?
I mean, it's always a good challenge. I think South Africa have been a good cricket side for a long period of time, and we've had some nice encounters against each other, in Australia and South Africa. So it's going to be different being here at Lords, which is, another challenge and one we're looking forward to. So, should be a good week of cricket, hopefully entertaining for everyone that turns up. I think the ticket sales have been pretty good from what I've heard, so hopefully we can put on a good show.